Kelly, thanks for staying tuned in to us today on Thursday. You joined us at 2:30 for training Augie, who's training Kelly, who's training Augie and being trained by Brandon. It's a warm day. You followed us throughout every Thursday. We've done some work, and I'm your ranch manager, Kelly. Of course, this is, of course, Augie. Look at him all set it out. I hope he doesn't know how gorgeous he is. And Brandon's on the line. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hi, Kelly.
Hey, we're doing good. I think we're doing well. And just so you know, after our dramatic session with you, the next session went really well, and I started saying, holy moly, when something works. And so then we were going through these holy moly moments, but then holy moly became old hat, so now it's Shazam when something works really well. So that's just how we've been rolling.
Well, that's good. The only issue I have right off the bat is you talk about how beautiful he is and no mention of me. So
that's because I can't see you. My memory's fading as I age. I'm sorry.
Well, if you would wish your eyesight would too if you could see me, so it's okay. All right. So what have you been doing that's going really, really well?
We've been walking, and my energy is different because whenever I get with you, I do get a little nervous. I just have to say.
Oh, you don't need to be nervous.
You can see it in. I know you can see. Thank you. You can see it in him right now. But we've been doing this.
Okay.
We've been stopping. We've been not letting him turn into me. We've been waiting till he looks.
Very good. That's much more control. Yeah.
Hi, gorgeous. And then we're walking. And if he doesn't walk, we do a little of that.
Good.
We can turn both directions when we're stopped. The sticky side sometimes doesn't work.
Okay. What is his sticky side?
Oh, crap. I think it's turning. I think when he's going the other way.
Okay. So he's more comfortable. I would guess that he's more comfortable on this side, his near side, than he is the off side. That's where he kind of put himself to begin with without you asking him.
Yeah. Well, he actually started to go the other direction, and I put him this way.
Okay. Well, and he didn't fight it too much.
No. He tosses his nose once in a while, but it's nothing.
Very good. Okay, you asked him to stop right there, right?
Yes.
And what I watched you do is you step straight back away from him. So you're slightly behind the very center of the corral, and that's exactly the right thing to do using body language. I didn't hear you cue him verbally or anything.
Good boy. No, I didn't at all. I'm just stepping back.
Okay. And so what I would do, and I know this is very good because what you've done is you're just having him watch your body language. But what we want to do is, and you're probably doing this anyway, you just didn't do it this time, but I just want to make note of it, that when you want him to do something, put a verbal cue with it. So that way when you're on his back, when he hears, whoa, that means to stop and back up, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that you're just reinforcing a verbal cue, because the whole idea of this is to get him to listen to you when you're on his back. That's our end goal, right? And do it safely and with as little bit of effort on your part as possible. And that's how we get there. So you don't have to, but it's really nice as a good check, just what you did, to see if he's watching you by just doing the visual body language. And that's good. That's a very good thing to do. So I wanted to point that out, why we would do both.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good job. No, that's very good.
So we're good here. Oh, good boy.
Yeah, there you go. Good. Yeah.
Good boy. So now when he looks at me, good boy, I'm going to back straight away, and he's paying attention, right? Straight away.
Very good.
Curve around, open the door.
Yep, he's watching you, and he's about to take the move. There you go.
That shoulder.
Very good. Much better control on that, Kelly. Very good. You got over there, pushed that shoulder around by pushing the hip first and giving him direction. That was very good. Very good job.
Okay. Thank you.
And you did it calmly, quietly, and he was very calm about it. He's reflecting where you're at.
And a little bit of cheating.
Well, and it's easy to cheat when they're going slow, right?
Yeah. It's also when I rewatch these, unless I keep my eyes on his feet, sometimes I can't tell the little cheats.
Right.
I didn't stop you, buddy. Thanks a lot. That was awesome.
And you got a little bit more real estate to cover there. It's not much, but it's a little tiny bit, so that you have to be less subtle when you ask him to change directions or do something. You've got an extra panel in there, which creates a little bit more circumference for you to have to cover more area.
If I wanted to back him up now, because what I've been doing is just stepping to my right a little bit and waving the magic wand in my right hand, and he backs. If I wanted to back him now, what would the right thing be?
What I would do is step up, like you're going towards his nose.
Mm-hmm.
So cut the distance in about half. So walk up. There you go. And then just the same type of energy that you have to get him to turn. Go ahead and walk up closer. There you go. You get his attention on you, and it is. There you go. Now just kind of get in front of his shoulder, right beside his head, and then just push the energy out of your. There you go. Right out of your chest. There you go. Just like that. Just push that energy.
So don't try it from the center right now.
Right. Yeah. No, don't try it from the center. And you probably won't get him to. The only thing, if you pushed hard enough with your energy from that, you're far enough away, probably nothing's going to happen. What you might get out of him at the most is a turn.
Okay. And then I also had a question about, I know we have some more work to do with, you'll see with the turn at the stop, but I also had a question about turning at the walk.
Yeah.
Which maybe we're ahead of that. But what I did was if I stop and back away, right, he goes, oh, she's backing away, I need to stop. And so he stops instead of turning at the walk.
Right. And that's the very next transition that I was just going to say, we need to start working on that. So that's very good. It's very timely of you, because you've got this stop, stand, turn. That's all. You've got that pretty well down and pretty successful at him being calm, you being calm, him doing exactly what you want. So now what we can do is that we can basically get him to just turn direction.
Right.
Without stopping at all. And obviously he's got to stop, but all he's going to do is be turning direction. And so it's going to put a little bit more pressure on him to do that. And that's how you do that, is make him move faster. So you're going to have to step to him. And this is where I started to mention before. You've got 9 panels in this corral, which is going to put you of a circumference, a diameter of about 34 feet. That's big. That's pretty good. It's decent size for his size and the type horse we're dealing with here. If it was a workhorse, it'd be a little small. If it was a Shetland, it'd be way too big. But if you were to pull one panel out of there, that would put you at about 30 feet, 30 and a half. So you're dealing, believe it or not, that extra 3.5 feet in diameter makes you have to take at least a step, because one of your steps is around 3 feet, same as mine, pretty close. Right. So it's going to make you move a little bit more. So just be aware of that, that when you move, he's going to move and he's going to respond to that. And he's going to probably turn and blow out of there like what you used to do, just to get him to start and stop.
Okay. And next time, should I pull a panel out after today then?
It makes it easier to be able to be subtle about your movement. So this is all going to be dependent on you. To me, I want to be as subtle as I can possibly be. Of course, my corrals they're set in the ground. They're not going anywhere, so it's not easy for me to make that distance. But at a clinic or something like this when I'm teaching, then it's very easy to do it. So with that said, what we're going to do, knowing what he probably will do, is have him there stop. And as soon as he stops, you ask him, don't even ask him to stop, really. what you're going to do is just point the other direction and have him, and then step to the side and have him come towards you. Okay, so what you would do to break this down, let's pretend that he was continuing to move to the right like he's doing.
Okay. Hi, buddy. Good for looking at me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna point to the left.
Yep, and step to the right. And point to the left and step to the right. There you go.
And kind of cut him off, and then just step back like that.
Right, like that. Yes, as he's moving. And just do that as he's moving. He might get confused. He might stop. But if he starts to stop and turn, then go ahead and put some pressure on him to make him move.
All right.
There you go. And remember, try to use your whip as little as possible, the extension of that hand all the time, so that all he's listening to you in is your voice or watching your arm move.
Okay.
But now come towards him. Yep. Now come towards him a little quicker. There you go. Good job. Very good. See how that was actually a lot better than I thought was going to happen. But part of that is because you went right to the clear off to the side and he stopped. So he didn't put any pressure on himself by coming closer to you. Yeah. So the next time, let's go ahead and have him move forward. As you're doing that, then go ahead and give him the arm for the right direction you want to go, which is the opposite direction, and then kind of step towards it, or step to him a little bit, but more off to the side to try to turn him faster, like that. Very good. There we go. Very good. And you did not give him the command to stop, so you haven't told him to.
Gotcha.
He hasn't figured it out yet, and it's okay. We'll just go faster and a little faster and a little faster to get him to make that as one continuous move. So very good. You're breaking this down very well so he understands it. And remains calm. That's the most important part. Okay, so let's do this, Kelly. He's really kind of just making you work harder because you had to go really far over to get to him. Let's go ahead and put him up into a trot and do the same thing. Better, that's better, much better. You see how he stopped, kind of took a step, started to take a step back? Oh, look at that. You got just a tiny bit of attitude, but that's okay because it's something brand new.
Right. And he's not the hardest working man in show business.
No, he's not. No, he's not. And, for what we're doing here to show these techniques and to teach how we're training, is there's nothing wrong with him being slow. We really want these horses, so there you go. Now back, there you go. Good job. Oh, good correction. Turn your body. There you go. Good job. There, now pushing. Good job. Yeah, we really want these horses so pilgrims can get on them.
Right.
That's our ultimate goal. So this is good. Having a horse slow and quiet like this is much, much better than one that's really spoiled. Now, to say that, I'm not saying you've spoiled him. I'm not saying you've done anything wrong, but they can be this way and still be really, really nasty underneath and be resentful. We haven't pushed them hard enough to get them to react to it. And I say that because when he turned that first time, he kind of shook his head a little bit like he didn't like it. So there might be something lurking under there, just as a kind of a warning. There you go. Very good.
Look at that. Look at that. That's a Shazam, Gail. Here we go.
Very good.
This is the sticky side, I guess, huh?
Yep. There it is. And notice how he hangs up there. There you go. Good job. Very good. Good. It's okay. You're doing exactly the right thing. You're slipping him in there. You're not letting him turn away from you. Okay, now he's kind of balling up there. Very good. Now stop him. Oh, look at that. Now, when he does that, what he did is he just told you no. So get on him.
Make him do that.
Yep. You want him to work hard for a couple of 2 or 3 rounds. I mean, really make him run. But you know, you got to do it within a half a second of him being assertive.
I'm going to bring him to a trot and continue on at a trot.
Yep. Yes. Yep. That's right. And then we'll have him do it again, anywhere you want, preferably at the same place where he hung up before. Ooh, he almost turned.
I know.
Okay, turn that hind end back around. Now slip yourself back. Very good. You're doing everything right. It's just a matter of him figuring out oh my God, you're so
good boy. There you go.
Perfect. Kelli, good job, because every time you were correcting the right amount and in the right way, because you pushed your body towards his hip to push that hip back over towards the rail.
Yeah.
Very, very good job. Very good job of correcting him and at the right time and the right amount.
Thank you. I was using my stick a little bit. I should probably use not my stick at first. Look at this.
There you go. Very good. Now push him back. Get on him. Don't let him do that.
Yeah.
There you go. Make him work. Make him keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Another couple of rounds. Make sure he knows, he understands that he has to work hard when he does that. Okay. And then ease off anytime you're ready and just forget that ever happened. Now just slow him down with your voice. Tell him easy.
Easy. Easy. All right, it's over.
There you go.
All over. Now
just have him stop.
Easy. 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 Hey. Hey.
Very good. Now let's give him a few minutes. Watch his head. Watch him. He's going to dip his head here in a little bit. He might start licking and chewing a little.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, there you go. Good boy. That's it.
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, now let's just let him stand there a little bit. Let him process this. Yeah, he's looking around. He's wanting to look, and the first thing he wanted to do is avoid you by looking out. Very good. Very good. And then he started licking, chewing, dropped his head a little bit, dipped it, looked at you some more. Very good. Now, how about, Kelli, if you take a nice, great, big, deep breath and make a big sigh, and then watch what he does. He should probably do the same thing if he hasn't already.
He kind of did. He opened his mouth in kind of a weird yawn.
Oh, he's bored. Okay. But that really isn't a yawn. That's just a release of that tension, the same as he would be if he was licking, chewing, and blinking his eyes.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of anxiety relief.
Yep, exactly.
Good boy. I know. Adulting is hard.
Okay, now you're on the side of him that's real sticky. So let's get him to move the other direction, just like you were, and let's try it from a walk again, and then up into a trot. Let's keep it going the same direction because we want to see if we can make him turn correctly, and then do it without stopping. So we're just
at the walk.
Yep.
Let's start him. Walk it. We're pushing him into the trot, and then try it at the trot.
Yeah, whichever you want. You be very inconsistent. Or be very consistent about your inconsistency. So never ask for the same thing all the time. So you can do what you want.
He saw my hand. He looked at me. He chose to ignore it. He backed up, and then I used my stick.
Yep.
And he said, "Oh, okay, okay."
Yep, that's fine. You did good. You did real well.
I'm not going to do the same spot. Let's see.
Okay, turn your body more. There you go. All right. You were kind of faced right straight onto him, but when you turned your body and squared your shoulders to the corral, that's when he turned.
Yeah, I remember to open the door.
Yep, exactly. The only thing I would do next time is cut him off a little sooner. There you go, like that. Very good. Very good.
Put away.
Yeah, he was trying to cheat you and you corrected it. Kelli, you're doing very, very well. Very well. Now come towards him, square your shoulders. Put your arm forward a little bit. Your left arm forward so he can see you. See that arm and give him some good clear direction. There you go. He couldn't see that because you had it behind you.
Yes, I'm pointing down the corral instead of across.
Yes. And he is reading that cue.
Okay. Oh.
Ooh, turn him right back around.
Are you mad?
Yep. See, this is what I was talking about, him throwing a little temper tantrum. Because he's having to work and think a little bit more. Okay, I would slow him down because he's making the decision to move fast now.
Easy.
Look at that, throwing a big fit, having a big old temper tantrum. Very good. You're doing a great job. He's throwing a temper tantrum and wearing himself out. And all you're asking him to do is slow down. Yeah, good.
Now walk. Like you've got some sense. Go ahead. It's all right. Go ahead. Just walk. It's all right. Keep going.
Okay, he's doing that because he's out of control. He cannot control anything that's going on, and it's a little bit more work for him. So you making him work and then correcting him every time he would throw himself backwards the other direction is perfect. Make him stay on cue. The only thing we can do to enhance that even more is to make him slow down instead of him running. So that's the only little bit of control he was getting, is because he couldn't continue to move, but you were actually trying to slow him down and then stopping him, and then he was throwing himself the other direction and taking off. So you got to kind of take the good with the bad. You did very well at correcting that 3 or 4 times. That's fantastic, because he's pushing hard. He just wants to dominate you, and he wants to be able to make the decisions, and he's frustrated when he can't. So good job. Notice how he's really willing to be nice and quiet and slow, but when you put a little pressure on him.
Yeah, when you say, you know what, the only decision you're going to make right now is to walk, you can feel the energy dissipate around him.
Yep.
Oh. Hi.
Very good. He's looking at you for more direction. That's good. He's kind of like trying hard to keep himself distracted, and he just can't. That's good.
Yeah.
Very good. And he's dropping that head down. He's chewing, licking.
Good boy.
Looking at
you.
What's
interesting is, he was I asked him to move, and he said, okay, then I'm gonna make the decision to move, and so I had to say no. Now I'm making the decision to walk.
Right.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, don't let him do what he wants. He can still move. He just needs to move at the speed you choose. Okay, when you just had him start out, did you ask him to move before you moved towards him?
Yes, I used my left hand.
Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, good.
I don't even remember walking toward him, so thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that you were giving him a cue, because where you're standing right now, I couldn't see an arm move, and I thought, we don't want him to move away from you. We want him to move away from you because you told him to, not because you're moving towards him.
And what's happening is it's almost this. It's almost finger now sometimes.
Yeah, good. That's where and that's where you want to get to. Just be able to raise your hand or your fingers, or you just flip your hand up, and he sees that. That's fantastic. That's where you want to be with the subtleness.
Oh. Now, if he doesn't stop, I check to the left. Is that correct? And just cut him off a little?
Yeah, just a little bit, because look how little you had to move that time. And look how far away you are. And he's listening to you. He's watching. Very good. That's why the more and more we go, at first it's so important to do things right, to make sure that they get the right movement with the gross motor skills. And now it's so important to do it with a very fine and subtle motor skill. So it's all important. It doesn't matter what the context is.
Yes.
Is he sweating?
Not really. I am.
Okay.
He's sweating a little.
I'm inside right now with this computer. It's pretty calm. It's nice. It's about 70 degrees in here. In the shade.
So watch this. Here's hand, ignoring. Here's whip. He is testing a little, isn't he?
Yes, he is. That's exactly right. So when he does that, should there be consequences to him ignoring your hand?
I would think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's a consequence to stick on my left, or is a consequence to run?
The consequence would be a reinforcement of listening to you pick your hand up, and the only thing you really got is to use that whip and just pull it out and shake it and snap it towards his butt really fast, and he may take off running. That's okay. That's a consequence. Okay. He's going to have to work hard for you not listening.
Yeah, I'm waiting too long because I'm using my finger, and then I'm like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? But I should say, when I say jump, you say how high, because you know better by now, right? That's
right. That's exactly right. Give him within a half a second, he should already be moving after you give him the signal. You got the woes down really well.
You know what now here we go again. There we go. Good boy.
Your body, there we go. That's better.
That's faster.
Now let's pick him up to a little faster speed, because we can do the slow stuff easily. And he's content to do that because he's not working hard.
Mm-hmm. And he's sweating.
Good.
No. Good boy.
Good. Really praising for that. Reinforce that. That's a good thing.
Good boy. That was great, buddy. That was great, buddy. Look how his head is dropped at the trot.
Good.
He's more relaxed. You can do it. Good boy.
Better.
Yay.
Much better.
Good boy.
He kind of threw his head up a little bit, but he didn't throw a fit, which is good. He didn't act out. He can think it, but he just can't do it. Very good.
You know better. Oh.
Okay, flip him back around. Good job. Get him to stop right there. Okay. Yeah, try to get him back to the same spot he was instead of letting him go around, because now he's just avoiding doing it. So if you can, there you go. You're doing a good job of stopping him. As soon as he goes the wrong direction, you're getting around there in front of him, turning him. That's very good. And then it's a matter of getting him to turn the other way again. Very good. Okay, good job. Now we'll see how he does this next time.
Good boy.
Very good. Very good. Now, good boy. Yes, good job, Kelly. Good praise on that, too, because they need to know when they've done it right, and it's all about that tone of voice.
Mm-hmm. So just in general, would a walk and a stop and a pet be a good release? I didn't ask you that. A good release of pressure, or would that be praise, or would that be letting it work somehow?
I think as long as when he does well, stopping, taking that time to do that, that's a reinforcement of the praise.
Okay.
There you go. Good. Now turn him back around. Don't let him go around there because he didn't turn right. Okay, so I got to.
Okay, he gave me attitude though, so I was confused as to whether I make him.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see the attitude. You're right there. You can see it. I couldn't see the attitude. So you did the right thing.
Okay.
I would have got if you're going to praise or scold him for that though, I would have scolded him a little harder.
Okay.
But I try not to do that if it's a little bit of attitude. It's like, okay, I can let him roll his eyes a little bit. but I can't let him stomp his feet, throw himself out of the room and say, fine, you don't love me, I'm going to mom. You know what I mean?
Okay. Because what I thought was, was a good point, because I thought he was about to take off in the other direction, but he didn't quite.
Right.
So,
when you correct him in that other direction, I turn him right around, but then stop him immediately. Don't let him go around the corral. And I know you're wanting to correct him for that. But I would correct that issue, make him stop, and then make him turn. And if you have to keep turning him back and forth until he gets it right, then that's fine.
Good boy.
Good job.
Good boy. He can walk. He can walk. How was that? That's better, yeah.
That was a good stop, turn. And that's the whole idea, is to get him to listen and then to be more responsive without you having to do a lot of work.
Yeah. Who? Now that was a crappy stop. So what would my correction be?
Well, you kind of caused it in a way too, because you didn't reinforce it really well.
You know what? I was so wimpy about that. I can't even believe it.
I know it. I can see it, and feel it, and smell it from here. So
it was like, crap. I'm tired. Okay, let's stop. And he's like, "You want me to stop it or to walk?" And like, lady, figure it out, man.
But see how he did really reflect what you put into it, right?
He absolutely did. Hi. Yeah, he absolutely did.
Yeah, so important that we stay, sharp on our game, even when we make a mistake like that. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. Right. Sometimes we make mistakes without them even knowing it, and that's okay. Go with it. Don't let them think that you made a mistake, or tell them that you made the mistake either.
Sure.
What I would do, Kelli, let's have him move around. Let's get him to turn one way each way without stopping, and do a really good one. And then let's stop and do something else, because he's starting to get a little bit sticky on both sides now.
You want to do it at the trot or the walk?
Yes. Yep, we want to do it at the trot. We want him to work at this.
So I like that, because that was just basically my finger. And he said, did I say it or didn't I? And I said, yeah, you did, with one more time, and he walked. How's that?
There we go. Yeah. And you're starting him slow, which is great. Now anytime I'd pick that speed up a little bit, because we don't want him to just, as soon as you walk in that corral, take off running. We want control. He's tossing that head a little bit, that nose out, but that's okay. I wouldn't worry about that. That's just a little bit of that teenager stuff.
Yeah, I think he's saying, I'm tired. I want my Xbox now.
Right, exactly. He's a thumb talker. Very good.
Good boy.
Very good. Very good.
I did my left hand instead of my right that time.
I saw that.
I'll forgive myself.
Okay.
I know you did. I know you did. I can't get anything past you.
Well, I looked at it and I thought either one of two things was wrong. She either used the wrong hand, or she put the whip up without using her hand to reinforce that, which either way is wrong. There you go. Good job. Good job. Make him trot. Very good. Okay. He's really come a long way. So I would let him go around a round or two like that, slow him down at a walk for about a round, and then let's stop him and let him relax, let him kind of contemplate this, and then we'll praise him and talk about what we want to do next.
That's cool. Do I want a word to walk? Walk.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Let him go around there, and then we'll stop him. Let him sigh, blow, lick, chew, drop his head, watch you for the next direction, and then go ahead and go up and praise him for everything, and physically touch him and pet him and talk to him, because what you're doing is you're taking, 1, the pressure off, you're quitting working, 2, you're verbally praising him, and then 3, you're physically praising him. So you're giving him 3 forms of reward for doing right.
Oh, that was me again, but that wasn't terrible.
All right, there we go. Now stop. Don't go toward him yet. There, I got you. Now just let him just let him have a chance to relax a little bit.
Okay. Good boy.
Very good. And he's really wanting direction from you. Notice he really wants to come up to you. So just give him a few minutes. Don't be in a hurry. One of the things we tend not to do is we tend not to give the praise with enough time in between for them to contemplate what they've done, how well they've done, and then for us we want to run right in there and praise them, and that's okay. I want to do that, but I want them to reflect on it first and accept that what they've done was the right thing, and then you go ahead and praise them for it, because that in itself is part of the praise. That's part of that pressure.
Yeah,
release.
you know, and what I just thought was that if when I did that and he hadn't processed it and I came up to him, that's just more pressure. That's not a release.
That's exactly right. Correct. Yes. And I do it myself, Kelly. I'll be like in a hurry or want to go up there and praise them quickly, and it's like, no, I got to stand back, give them time, let them think about what they've done and how well they've done it, especially on this praise, because that is a longer release of pressure. And it's more of a reward. That's your first reward. So no, and so it's very, very difficult even for me to do. I tend to have to think about not going up there, and then I watch for permission from them. And it's not them giving me permission; it's permission for myself to go up at the right time to then extend that praise with my verbal praising, and then that putting those hands on. You know, they like being touched like we do.
Right, they touch each other.
Yeah, exactly. They look at it, and you're petting him, you're stroking him, and that is a form. They learn that that's a form of praise from us, or a form of, at the very least, a mutual grooming type behavior, or at the very most, you know, some a little bit of affection. Yeah, and we're not making them move. I mean, we're not. That's right. Asking them to do really anything except be with us. Yep, that's right. So you brought this saddle pad out because it's time to do something different. Notice how when he started moving away the last couple of times, even though he made a great turn and he started to move out, he was really swashing that tail a little bit and kind of kicking up a tiny, tiny bit. He's getting sticky. He's getting a little bit overwhelmed with, all right, I've had enough. I'm not going to do this anymore. I've had enough. I'm going to throw a fit. And we want to get them past that to where they are not soured by something. It's the same as us, you know, sitting in a cubicle for hours and hours at a time without doing anything else. Also, I noticed when many times when we drove past there, he would turn his nose at it and bump it. Yeah, something to distract him, take his little noggin off of the work at hand right there. You know. So have you been sacking him at all? No. I know early on we did a tarp all over him, but I just been sacking him out. I sacked him out with just once. Okay. This is kind of a little bit hard to manage. Have you got a really soft, like a Navajo blanket? Yeah. I do. I do one of those. Does it smell like a horse? Yes. I would grab that thing. Is that a good? I don't have a clean one handy. I want a dirty one. I want one that smells like a horse. Oh, I got one. You guys be careful where you feed, okay? Because you're not quite sure what's poisonous or not back here. No, it's okay. Just maybe don't do that because we're not sure what's poisonous, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this soft blanket. We're going to introduce him to a little bit more sacking in a way that's easier for you to do, and it's going to be a little more subtle on him too, because that blanket's kind of stiff and kind of a big flat thing. This light blanket can wrap around his legs. It doesn't take much to move it, and it isn't big and scary, but you can make it flop and you can control it. So when you come back out with it, let's halter him up. Okay. We'll let him smell it. And then we'll start working on the side of his face and then just rub it down his neck, down his back, down his hip, and maybe around his legs. What I was doing with that one was throwing like I was throwing a saddle on. Yeah. And this one, look. So grab your halter Unless he'll stand there for it.
But if he doesn't, right?
Right. Yeah, you don't want him to move away from you. And this will be spending 5, 10, 15 minutes of this. We got about 15 minutes left. So this will be really good to end on, and is kind of introducing, and you've done some of this, but it's going to be a little bit more introduction to some different things for him, which is the next step kind of to, well, there's a couple more things we could do, and maybe we'll do that before we start the sacking of him. But go ahead and put the halter on, and then we're going to back up here instead of going to the sacking. Let's have you. Okay. Will he walk away from you? Will he turn on his fours by walking that hind end around?
I mean, yeah, just kind of like disengaging his back end.
Yeah, go ahead and throw your whip out of there. Get rid of that. You're not going to need that thing again.
Oh.
Not till next week. You can take it to the dry cleaners if you need. There you go. Notice how he's walking back from you. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, put your hand down. Okay, what we don't want to do, we don't want to lunge him. Not asking him to lunge.
What am I asking him to do?
Okay, just pull him to the center of the corral and stop. Have him stop in the center. And all we want him to do is just move away from your energy. So
okay.
Just go ahead and pet him. Get him to stop. There you go.
Like this?
There. Now just walk to his, there we go. And just have him turning on his fours. He's kind of walking forward a little bit. There we go. There he's pivoting on that front near side foot or offside foot. There you go. Very good. Now stop. Good. Now just push his front end around. Do the same thing with his, go back to that same side you were on. There we go. Now get up just in front of his shoulder. There we go. Now push him around. Nope. Push him away from you.
I'm trying. There we go. A little bit.
Okay, get in front of his shoulder a little bit. Get in front of his shoulder, be closer to his head. And you're pulling his nose around. So let his nose go. There we go. Now push him up. Now just walk up to his head. Turn and walk up to his head. Nope, from this side. From the side of his head.
Oh, I see.
There you go. Now just keep going. Just keep walking.
I got it.
See, as soon as you step over there in front of him, he turned that head around and turned that whole neck.
I was confused as to what we were doing. There we go.
There we go. Look at him stretch and reach with that near side foot. He's stepping that all the way out. Now what we want to do, there, good job. You moved closer to his shoulder. So we want him to just move around and turn on those hinds. We want that hind foot to pivot.
Okay, I understand. In my language, it's kind of a turn on the haunches.
Yeah, as I say, get him to turn on the hinds. Yep. And try not to touch him. Just get him to respond to you. There you go. Very good. If you have to reach up there and touch him, that's okay. But try to do it as little as possible. We just want him to respond to you without pushing into you. And his body is set up so he'll do it. Very good. Very good. Better. See how he's just kind of backing in a circle?
Yep.
So we got to try to get him to push that body around on the front end, but pivot on the hinds. And you're going to have to get, there you go, more towards his head. There you go. That's better. And you're going to have to kind of move faster on that front end because you're kind of at the end of that a lever. There we go. That's better. Much better. He just pivoted about 270 degrees on that hind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. Let me try this again.
And all we're doing here is we're teaching him proximity of you and him, and that he needs to listen and respond to what you ask him to do. And we're not wanting him to move away from you, his whole body, just his front end. Because
is there something else I can do?
Yeah, you can move a little bit faster. Because his head is on the outside of that circle. You're going to have to move just a little bit quicker to push him around, and then to keep him from going backwards, yeah, you may have to just keep him tugged with that rope a little bit to keep him from backing up. That's better. There, that's better. That's better. He's still moving back from you, but not as bad. And then I said that, and then he backed up.
I know. I think I'm going to have to direct with my hand a little because
That's okay. And when you do, put a hand up just ahead of his shoulder and one up kind of behind his jaw, up on his neck, and don't push on him, but just tap him with both of those hands so that he has to respond away from you, but otherwise he'll push into you. That's better. That's better. There you go. You got about 3/4 of a circle before it fell apart. So we kind of want to do that and now slow it down a little. You're going to have to move faster on the outside, but it's going to slow him down because he's making the turn.
So how do I get him to not back up?
You're going to have to, just like I said, pull. You may have to pull him forward a little bit with that halter to keep him from backing up as you turn him. I'm getting him off to the side. See, what he's doing is he's resisting, but then he's just backing away. And there, like, there's that front end. That's a little better, a little fast. Slow him down a little bit. Let him come forward. That's a little better. Okay, you're getting about 3/4 of a turn, and then he backs up. That's okay. You're making some headway. Yeah. You're getting better at it. So let's just try the other side.
I'm having to like poke him.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we got to get him to quit. It's harder work for him to do what he's doing. So let's try the other side now. Very good. He's turning on those fours. There he backs up. He's trying to back away from you. Give him a little bit more slack with that rein or that rope. Try not to touch his face at all with it. There we go. That's better. Try to see how you got to kind of pull him back a little bit without turning his nose. Just pulling him straight back to get him to not go forward. So you're putting just a little bit of pressure with the rope to keep him from going forward, but not pulling his nose around. Because you're keeping your hand close to his, keep your left hand with the rope close to his shoulder. That's better. There you go. Look at that. Much better. Did I lose you? I think I lost the audio.
Now we'll see if we can get her back on here shortly, Brandon.
Okay.
I think we lost her for a moment. Oh, her phone might have died, actually.
Oh,
I think, yeah, I think the battery gave out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's figured it out. She's looking for... I'm hearing some rustling. That must be you.
We got some guests coming to the ranch as well. So I might, let me see if I can get another phone hooked up for her here.
Okay.
Get some.
There we go. That's better. Much better. For those that are watching, you'll notice how those hind legs are staying in place now. Much more than they were on the other side. Moved a little bit, but they have to move a little to maintain his balance. But she did a really good job of pushing him around. And part of the issue is because she's on the side he's favorable to, he likes it over there. He's much easier to control, and he likes her over there, so he's going to be a little bit less worried about trying to get away completely and backing away. So she'll just have to even that out by making him stand on this other side, and then spin around on his hinds instead of backing around.
Brandon, can you hear Kelli at all?
I cannot. I can hear you, but I can't hear her.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah, she can hear you just fine.
Maybe,
let me go in and make sure I haven't muted her on the broadcast for some reason on my end. Could have fat-fingered something. You never know.
You know
There's a lot of buttons in there.
I'm noticing on the front here, on the top with the phone number, that there's a line through the phone. So I'm not sure what that means.
How's that? Kelli, can you chime in for a moment?
Kelli, can you hear us? I don't think she can hear us. No, I don't think she can hear us. There we go. I heard some clicking. I see that.
Now?
I see now. There was a line through the telephone on the it shows the participants. So as soon as that line went away, I can hear Kelli again.
Okay, well, I think we're good now.
I think so. All right. So what I just was talking about when you were, you probably heard me.
I did hear you.
Okay, so I won't repeat then. So yeah, just work on that sticky side. The side is less favorable hit to him as his offside. So that'll just take a little bit more time, a little bit more work, and try to make those even, and try to keep him from backing away or moving forward so that he's turning in circles, either front way or back way. And then that way, yeah, and if you have to hold him back to do it to begin with, that's okay. It's a matter of placing him where you want him and then get him to move. So, and see right now you're just, there you go. I'd move your hand closer to his shoulder and get it underneath. Try not to tip his head. There you go. I know for me, it's a lot easier because I got kind of like gorilla arms, so I can reach him from one end to the other. There we go. That's better. And it's about watching their feet, and so that they're pivoting on the ones that you want to pivot. They're not walking around on them either front ways or backwards, but just a pivot. And then the other ones, as they're moving around, those legs are crossing. One's crossing in front or behind the other as they turn, and that's what you're really looking for that movement. So that kind of helps slow him down a little bit, and also get him to listen to you and your proximity and accept that, hey, I can walk around here, and you need to move away from my pressure.
Right.
And without moving away or running away. So,
yes.
Let's see. We got just a couple minutes. If you want to grab that blanket and just kind of wallow it around on him, let him smell it. Put it on his shoulder. That Navajo one, so it's nice and pliable. Makes it a lot easier for you. There you go. Let him smell. Now, as you do that, back up and have him come towards you. Let's think about this. Psychologically, what is he doing? He's coming towards something that should be scary, right?
Right. So psychologically, this is not scary.
Right. Exactly. So anytime you have a horse that you can do that and they are apprehensive about it, that forward movement is more for curiosity and not for fear. If you were to just walk up there and put it in his face and he might back off, then it's like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a little bit fearful. So if you have to introduce something like that, and you have the ability to do it in this manner so that they're coming towards you. All right, there we go. And I didn't anticipate much of an issue there. I know Kelli's working him with that big blanket in much the same way, and he hasn't had an issue, but just around his feet, down around his legs, and wrap it around his legs kind of as you throw it, up under his belly. All of those things to get him used to that being anywhere on his body. There we go. His front, kind of along his side. Look at him smell that. Okay. I think we may have lost Kelli again too. So it looks like we're out of time, Kelli.
Yeah, her phone went offline. I think we lost her. So
all right.
But yeah, that was a great session. Thanks for tuning in, Brandon. That was outstanding.
You bet. Yeah, and our schedules get together. I don't know what happened last week. I was ready and we didn't have anything, so I assumed that something came up and we couldn't work it. But as we get together, I'll try to be in on more and more of these, and we'll see if we can get a little bit of small tips or help, whichever way we can. So,
outstanding.
All right. Well, I guess what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and sign off for Kelli and in her stead. And thanks everybody for watching another session. And we will continue to progress forward and see each other next time.
All right. Well, thank you again, Brandon. So long from Dunrovin.
You betcha. Bye-bye.